called to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the January 26, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I have the privilege of serving as the chair and representing District 3, alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
First item, please, ma'am.
Item 2, unfinished business. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-16-2017 with Wildcat Landscape LLC for maintenance of sports fields throughout Shawnee County at a cost of $90,280.92 per year for 3 years, payable from the 2017 operating budget, and acknowledge receipt of a cost analysis. Parks and Recreation.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. You should have it as the top memo in there, the cost analysis that you guys requested at the last, wasn't the last meeting, last week at this time. You didn't ask for a detailed business plan, but you asked for a kind of an analysis of why we made the decision that we did. That's what we provided there to you. This not only for the sports fields contract, but also the other contracts with for the Expo Center, the Southwest Parks, and our Shawnee North Park. What I do want to highlight is more than just the numbers that is a savings, is that the vast majority of these parks will also be cared for at a higher level than they have been before. Most of our parks in the southwest area, we strive for level 2, but haven't been able to reach that. And when it's our permanent when it's our employees, they seem to get pulled off every time there's a special event, some kind of emergency, and you'd be surprised how many times we have those emergencies. This crew will be dedicated by contract to doing just these type of things. I think in a year and a half, 2 years, you'll notice a dramatic difference in the parklands. Be happy to answer any other questions. Staff is here too. I know Brian's here for the sports field, and Darren too. Darren Tolan's back there too. And then John Boyd's here for the other maintenance contracts.
And Jessica too.
And Jessica's back here too, yes.
Didn't want to leave her out.
Questions or comments for Mr. Knight? Go ahead, Commissioner Cook.
John, you don't anticipate, however, going to all outsourced contracts. I mean, we're going to have some maintained in-house, and it's striking that balance, correct?
Yeah. We can't contract out everything, but we should bid out everything, and if we can do it cheaper, we should do it ourselves cheaper. There's also going to be maintenance guys, hit crews that go around and take care of some the plethora of issues that we have that arise. So, no, we won't be contracting everything out.
And so this is really trying to strike that balance for the county.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is exactly the kind of fiscal note I asked for when we talked about this a week ago. When we enter in contracts, when we spend taxpayer money, we need to justify the expense and make sure we're getting a good deal.
Okay.
So this is good analysis. I appreciate it. Commissioner Bueller.
I'll move to approve the contract.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Just for clarification,
Actually, contracts.
that was all of the contracts were approved, the ones for the south and west. I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought the clerk just read just the sports field, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's 2 items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had an agenda, I probably wouldn't cause as much trouble up here.
We just approved item 1 under unfinished business, and now we're on item 2.
Because item 2 would be with a totally different vendor, so they would probably want to approve those
Exactly.
separately. That's probably why Jane did it that way. But then again, what do you know?
All right.
I'm not the director of Parks and Recreation. either.
Okay, Betty came up and embarrassed me on the camera by handing me the agenda. The commissioners are laughing. You've got your dig in. Anybody else?
Next item, please.
Item 2 under unfinished business, consider authorization and execution of the following contracts with Seric LLC payable from the 2017 operating budget, Parks and Recreation. A, contract C-17-2017 for maintenance of Shawnee North Parklands at a cost of $52,808.55 a year for 3 years. B, contract C-18-2017 for maintenance of the Kansas Expo Center grounds at a cost of $99,882 a year for 3 years. And C, contract C-19-2017 for maintenance of the South and West Parklands at a cost of $264,234.94 a year for 3 years.
Commissioners, I have nothing additional to add that I didn't present earlier.
I'll move to approve the contracts, and again, thank you for the analysis, John. It's appreciated.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contracts by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
John. Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Mr. Chairman, this morning we have vouchers that total $1,209,550.85. The highlights out of that voucher report are the payroll expenses to Shawnee County of $561,502.61, District Court of $170,639.68, holding accounts with the state of Kansas of $158,685.50, and solid waste with $171,008.66. And those make up the vast majority. They make up $1,061,836.45, and I would move for the approval of the voucher report, so I have no questions.
No second.
Move to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
Move approval.
I'll second. Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A3, consider approval of resolution number 2017-5, authorizing a 2017 cereal malt beverage license, including Sunday sales, to Great Life at Safari Golf located at 7523 Southwest 21st Street. This is a cereal malt beverage. The one I had asked you to pull a week ago, or a little over a week ago. Everything is ready to go. All of the has been reviewed by the counselor's office, and all of the items have been taken care of through the township. Township has been notified, the state of Kansas, KBI, and everything is a go. So we're good on this one.
Okay.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
I'll second. Move to adopt the resolution by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Commissioners, the items A1 through A10 are information about the tax exemption incentives for economic development. And I talked to the county councilor, and he said we could read all of these together if there's no objection to doing that and considering them all at one time. But in going back over the information, I did notice that these incentives have either made new or retained jobs, over 900 new or retained jobs, and spurred millions of dollars in capital investment in our community. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out and asked the clerk to read items A4 through A10, please.
And if you also note on the reference here that we put how many years these are, they're a maximum of 10 years,
Yes.
and that they, so they are, like Target will be going off after this year. So that's an added, that they've gotten their exemption, and now they're going to go back and actually be paying the full taxes. So that's a added bonus.
Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
Okay. Item A4, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 6 for Bimbo Bakeries USA, Inc. A5, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 3 for Mars Chocolate North America LLC. A6, consider approval of a renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 6 for Hill's Pet Nutrition. A7, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for an expansion for year 7 for Frito-Lay Inc. A8, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 8 for Frito-Lay Inc. A9, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 10 for Target Distribution Center. And A10, consider approval of a renewal of a tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 7 for U.S. Foods.
Questions or discussion, Commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Madam Clerk, have all of these entities met all of the requirements pursuant to the agreements?
They have, and we still have we'll have 6 more that will be on the agenda Monday, and that will be all that we have for the year. But yes, they have met all the requirements and paid their $100 and ready to go.
All right.
Commissioner Bueller.
I don't have anything to add unless there's someone in the audience that would want to comment. There's some representatives here.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
Move approval.
All second approval of these contracts.
Motion. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. And thanks for being here. It's appreciated. Next item, please.
Item B, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to waive purchase resolution requirements to authorize negotiation of a sole source contract with Clearspan Fabric Structures International, Inc. for a salt storage shed in Public Works District Number 4 at an estimated cost of $35,000 to $37,000 with funding from the project fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Blanc with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. As you may recall, this commission gave approval toward the end of last year to have Public Works begin commencement of a project to construct a salt shed at our District 4 shop. And we have taken the funds for that project and have them in a separate project account. What we would like to do 2 or 3 years ago, we constructed a salt shed like this in the southwest part of the county, in which Public Works staff did a pretty significant portion of the work in pouring the slab and in building the walls. And then we went out for bid and had Clearspan come in and construct the roofing system for that. We would like to do the similar process in which Public Works again place the slab and build the walls, and so we are familiar with that. The project turned out really well, and as far as future maintenance of the buildings, they would be similar. They'd be very similar. So we would like to be able to utilize Clearspan again to come in and do the project exactly like we did the last one, since it turned out so well. And so that is why we're requesting that we waive the procedures, allow us to negotiate with Clearspan the cost of the roofing system so that we can execute the project in a similar fashion. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions or comments? I'm beginning to wonder if we're ever going to need salt or snow removal equipment ever again. Gosh. I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B2, consider approval of a revised project budget from $1,952,083 to $2,029,741 for the Southwest Urish Road between Southwest 17th Street and Southwest 21st Street, with the funding from the Public Works Special Highway Funds, Road and Bridge, federal projects, and federal fiscal year 2016 State of Kansas Federal Exchange Fund Program.
Commissioners, Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item, and we're here to request to revise our budget. We took bids for this project last week, and bids came in higher than we had anticipated when we originally set up the project budget a couple of years ago. The bidding environment wasn't quite as competitive as we had expected it to be. But we are within the percentage, the 5% that's allowable to go ahead and proceed. We believe it's probably best to proceed with the project as is. But to do so, we need to have the project budget revised, and that is what our request is today. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Comments or questions for Mr. Vlock?
I would move for approval of the revised project budget.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. That motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B3, consider authorization and execution of contract C23-2017, amendment to contract C197-2016 with Bartlett and West for completion of the project final designs and bidding documents for the widening of Southwest Urish Road between Southwest 17th Street and Southwest Huntoon at a cost of $50,084.01, with funding from Road and Bridge Federal Projects and the Federal Exchange Fund Program.
Commissioners, Tom Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. This is on the north phase, I guess, of the Urish project from 17th to Huntoon. This is just the next step in the process for design, setting us up for the finished design and prepare bidding documents. We've negotiated this contract with Bartlett and West. It would just amend their contract. We are confident that we negotiated a good price, and so it's our recommendation that we approve this amendment to their contract. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Move approval.
Yes, Commissioner Cook?
I'll second, but Tom, I'm just curious how we wound up with 1 cent.
I negotiated that extra one in there. I honestly, that's a good question, and I really,
The only thing I can see is on the prior
Oh, just be-
contract, it was at 99 cents, and so this makes it an even amount.
yeah, maybe, that could be a typo potentially, but,
I would second for the $50,084.01.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook. Once again, remind me, who is responsible for the stretch of road from 21st to 29th on Urish?
that section of Urish is under the jurisdiction of the city of Topeka.
City of Topeka?
Correct.
Okay. For some reason, I keep forgetting that, or somebody keeps forgetting it. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B4, consider authorization and execution of contract C24-2017 with Bartlett and West to provide construction administration, field observation, and materials testing for the Southwest Urish Road between Southwest 21st Street and Southwest Huntoon at a cost of $234,943.64, with funding from the Road and Bridge Federal Projects and the Federal Exchange Fund Program.
Commissioners, Tom Block again with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is just the portion of the contract services that we need during construction, whereas the prior contract was finishing up design and going to bidding. This is to have staff on full-time for inspection and materials testing. Again, we negotiated this contract with Bartlett and West, and we feel confident that we have a good contract. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Questions on this contract?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. That motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B5, consider authorization and execution of contract C25-2017 with Shawnee Heights Unified School District Number 450 for the relocation of USD 450 sanitary sewer force main in conflict with the Southeast Tecumseh Road over Stinson Creek project at an estimated cost of $37,800, with funding from the 2017 countywide half-cent sales tax for bridges.
Commissioners, Tom Block once again, Public Works, Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. We are in the process of designing for the replacement of this bridge on Stinson Creek. And as part of that, there is a sanitary sewer force main that is owned by USD 450. It is located within their own easement, and when that is the case, the project, or the county in that case, would be responsible for paying those costs to remove those utilities. If the utilities were actually within the road right-of-way, then the utility would be responsible for removing their facilities, but in this case, they have their own easement. So that is why we are responsible, would be responsible in this case. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Commissioner Cook?
I would move for approval, but I would note that I think this may be the first item that's appeared before the commission referencing the funding source of being the 2017 sales tax as opposed to the 2014. And so just thanking the voters of Shawnee County, the city of Topeka, to extend that sales tax, we wouldn't be able to do as many public works projects as we are able to do without that sales tax extension.
Yeah,
So
that's a
again,
good point. You're exactly right.
That's a good point.
and this is the first, again, I think this may be the first item that appeared on that 2017 sales tax extension.
Excellent point.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. That motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B6, consider authorization and execution of contract C26-2017 with Rural Water District Number 8 for the relocation of facilities in conflict with the Southeast Tecumseh Road over Stensford Creek at an estimated cost of $34,143.71 with funding from the 2017 countywide half-cent sales tax for bridges.
Commissioners, Tom Block, once again, Public Works and Solid Waste. In similar fashion to the item that was just approved, this is the utilities for that Rural Water District Number 8 has in that location. Again, these utilities are located in their own easement, so as a result, we would need to pay for those relocation costs. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
I'll move approval. Questions?
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item C, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C27-2017 with the Police Athletic League, PAL, for exchange of the open gym facility and PAL van usage pertaining to youth teen programming.
Commissioners, this is an arrangement with the Police Athletic League. This is one that we inherited when we merged the departments back in 2012. It's been a great partnership. The Police Athletic League bought a van, and if we trade off the use of their program and their gym services, then we use the van for some of our programs. Jess Rakestraw with our Community Centers Manager is here if you have any questions specifically regarding this request.
Questions or comments?
I don't. I would move for approval.
And I'll second. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item C2, consider authorization and execution of contracts C28-2017 and C29-2017 with the Silver Lake and Tecumseh Township Boards for treatment of noxious weeds with the per road mile charge at $22.
Commissioners, this is contracts with a couple of jurisdictions that are within Shawnee County, the Silver Lake Township Board and the Tecumseh Township Board for our noxious weed department to address their weed issues. John Wellborn with the weed department is here should you have any questions.
Questions or comments? Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the contracts as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook. Motion made to approve the contracts by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item C3, consider approval of request for out-of-state travel to Augustine, Florida for one employee to attend the Parks and Recreation Summit with no cost to the county.
Commissioners, John Knight, Parks and Recreation. Again, the Parks and Recreation Summit invites select handful of individuals from around the country to attend the Parks and Recreation Summit. This time they've requested or offered attendance at this to Shawnee County Parks and Recreation employee. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have. It's a small group, 50 to 65 maybe department heads from of Parks and Recreation agencies from across the country of varying size. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
St. Augustine, Florida, I think it said. Is that,
Yes.
okay, just double checking. Any questions or comments for John?
I don't have any.
I'll move approval.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
Travel
Commissioners.
safe. Next item.
Item D, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding repairs made to the Rossville Tower, Valencia Tower, and Cook Tower at a cost of $14,600 with funding from the Assets Forfeiture Fund.
Morning, Commissioners. Lance Royer with Sheriff's Office. County does own 3 towers, and yearly we do safety inspections on them to make sure that they're not falling down in our neighbors' yards. And they found issues on all 3 towers, so this is to repair those issues. Hayden Tower is the one that built them and will do the work. And I'll be happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions or comments for Lance?
Just one question.
Yes,
So
Commissioner Bueller.
Have the repairs already taken place?
No,
or
they have not.
Will
They will be taken,
doing
yeah.
it? Okay.
But these are solid numbers.
Yes, they've done the inspections, and they came up with their quote to do the work, yes. These are
Okay.
solid numbers.
And I will point out, we are just acknowledging receipt of the correspondence regarding these issues. And I'll make a motion to acknowledge the receipt.
I'll second, also noting that Cook Tower is no relation.
This is true. It is no relation.
I think I made the motion to, motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer to acknowledge receipt, and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Lance. Next item.
Item E, Treasurer, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Larry Ma, Treasurer, that 3 account clerk 1 positions are being reclassified to account clerk 2 positions.
And I do want to point out that the wording on this is actually wrong. We're not acknowledging receipt. We're actually approving the reclassifications requested by the treasurer, and I think the county council will discuss this shortly also. So go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. The 3 individuals that we're referencing here are currently meeting all the qualifications for the Account 2 position, as well as performing all of the duties of an Account 2 clerk. I think by doing this, we remain in compliance with the position descriptions as outlined by H&R and also with the union contract. So I think we should pay these folks for the job they're performing. I have the concurrence of the union as well as the HR director, and they are funded through motor vehicle. I've incorporated these into my 2017 budget as well as the 2018 and 2019 budget. And if you'll just bear with me a little bit, I'd like to point out something here. Normally, at the Treasurer's Office, we have about 19 clerks. We have 4 Account 3 clerks, 10 Account 2s, and 5 Account 1 clerks. And because we've had such a turnover in employees, we generally hire, and by the time clerks become proficient and are doing Account 2 work, we have positions open. Well, this is really a success story because all of our Account 2 positions are open, but we've been able to hire these 3 individuals, train them, get them certified, bring them up to speed, and they are now doing an Account 2 work, but we don't have Account 2 positions for them. So this is really a success story. We've been working really hard for the last 4 years to retain good employees and stop that turnover that we have. I think we've done that. I attribute that to the CBIZ study It's allowing us to maintain good employees as well as attract better candidates. And by attracting better candidates, we're training those candidates and bringing them up to speed faster. So I've got a little bit of a backlog, and now I'm in the position of reclassifying rather than just filling vacancies. With this, we'll be fully staffed, and I think that's a success story that we need to point out. So I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
I will say that I've talked to the county councilor about this process of reclassifying positions, and it is a stringent process that we go through, reviewing position descriptions and accountabilities and responsibilities, and it's not something we take lightly at all. But when it's justified and documented, then we move forward with it. So, any comments or questions?
Just
Yes,
one comment.
Commissioner Bueller.
You say within the budget of the motor vehicle division?
Yes, it's
so
funded by
it's
motor vehicle and
funded
100%.
Completely by motor vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Larry. Next item, please.
Item F, Human Resources, number 1, consider approval of request to reclassify a vacant payroll officer position into payroll assistant at a salary including benefits of $49,368.44 and fill the newly reclassified position.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. This is a Human Resources item. To follow up on what the Treasurer said, this is a similar situation in that we had an open position for a payroll assistant position. The success story out of that is we had numerous qualified applicants for that position. And we actually have 2 open payroll positions in Human Resources. The other one is a payroll officer position paid at a higher grade. What this request is specifically to reclassify that higher grade position down to the lower grade payroll assistant position and then actually hire 2 payroll assistants. I've discussed this with Betty Greiner and with the incoming HR director as to why we'd go ahead and fill 2 instead of just 1, based upon the quality of the applicants that we found that had both experience in payroll and other HR-related functions. We thought it would be best to go ahead and fill those positions now and move forward. So this request is sort of a twofold request. Requesting to reclassify downward the payroll assistant position that's vacant to a payroll assistant and to open that position so that it can be filled.
Very good. Questions or comments for Mr. Crowell this morning?
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. And thank you for your analysis and staying on top of this, Jim. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Les Crooks, Kansas Expo Center. Busy weekend coming up at the Expo Center. The Monster Buck Classic returns to the exhibition hall. It opens on Friday, runs through Sunday. The Harlem Globetrotters make their return, annual return, I suppose, to Topeka on Friday night in the arena. Saturday, we have Roadrunners games, which is the start of Boy Scout weekend. They have a game Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Along with that, we've got somewhere between 75 and 200, depending on what we end up with, the final number of Boy Scouts and their dads that will be sleeping over in the Ag Hall on Saturday night, along with a wedding in Heritage Hall. So that should make a nice full weekend for us.
Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you, Les. Thank you for the update. Are there others for administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Cook?
Just a couple of items. This afternoon, I look forward to the kickoff luncheon for Project Topeka. This is a program that has worked diligently in our community to bridge the gaps in social service programs to ensure that there is always a meal for those who have none. And this is a program that I'm very proud that Shawnee County has given to in the past and look forward to their participation again this year. Also this evening, I'll be attending the Downtown Topeka Incorporated's banquet. This is an exciting time for downtown Topeka as we see the rebirth and growth in our core of our community. And I look forward to celebrating the accomplishments that they've had over the last year and some of the excitement that's building for this year with a downtown hotel and new restaurants and new businesses coming to our core. Last summer, we traveled to Des Moines and we looked at how their community supports their downtown. And I look forward to our community investing some of that same excitement in our downtown. On a more serious note, last week the Kansas Secretary of State filed in Shawnee County District Court a criminal complaint against an individual who's accused of voter fraud. And this alleged act occurred in the general election of 2012. And I would note that our current elections commissioner, Andrew Howell, was the elections commissioner at that time. As a member of the Shawnee County Commission, we also sit as the Shawnee County Board of County Canvassers. And we certify the results of each election in Shawnee County. And this criminal complaint is troubling to me as its filing came as a complete surprise. Our elections commissioner did not notify myself of any concerns with voter fraud. And in fact, we are aware during each time we meet as a county canvasser, we ask the elections commissioner if there are any allegations of voter fraud or concerns of voter fraud. And I believe that to my best of my knowledge, he's always told us that there are no concerns and that Shawnee County has no issues with illegal voter fraud. So I look forward to an explanation as to the assertions of the elections commissioner of there not being any voter fraud and our Kansas Secretary of State of this criminal complaint. Again, as the Board of County Canvassers, we certify the election results as being true and authentic each year. And finally, I would ask you to join with me in celebrating the founding of Kansas. 1861 was the founding of Kansas on January 29th. That's 156 years ago, and will be this Sunday. And the first observance was in 1877. That's 140 years ago, and it started with a school teacher in the town that I'm sure that Jim Crowell and Brian Cole will assert as being the best town in Miami County, Paola, Kansas. And not Osawatomie.
It's Osawatomie.
And I also note that might be my hometown of Paola, Kansas. So just to celebrate the founding of our state 156 years ago. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Wow.
Commissioner?
Okay. That's a lot to follow. Just wanted to mention I had the chance to attend my first advisory board meeting of the Expo Center yesterday, and I think as we, the commission, approve the HTK contract, we get that finalized, might be good for HTK to visit the advisory board as well, to bring them up to speed on the timeline and just and enlist their help in what HTK is going to be doing as far as gathering input for the Expo Center. So, and I shared that with Mary Thomas as I had to leave early. So, I think that will be helpful. And then I had a chance also to visit the construction of the Willard Bridge. I took some good video. As I was leaving, there were were they beams then? I think you guys had already left, Tom. 2 beams being delivered. They are huge, gigantic, and just what those drivers have to do to maneuver and get down to the bridge. It was pretty impressive. But they're making significant, progress. It's going well.
Excellent.
Are we still looking at December?
I think we're right on time.
All
We're
right.
right on time. So, but weather is helping. So yeah, but and those guys, when they're out there, I drive by almost every day, and they've got their hooks on the guide wire, and thank goodness, because they're working in some really crazy conditions.
Yeah.
So appreciate all their work because it is a dangerous job. So yeah, but fun. So
Thank
if you're
you.
gonna watch the video, let me know.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be another big year for Shawnee County in our accomplishments, the Willard Bridge and starting to work on the Expo Center, a number of good things. I think the commissioners got everything that was on my checklist to talk about, and actually one or two items that weren't on it, so I don't have anything to add. Next item.
Item 6, executive session.
And there's not a need for an executive session, so we are adjourned.